All right, if there are no objections, I'll go ahead and start my tool talk. My name's Jared Brees. I'm kind of a nobody, but I know some stuff about some stuff. As a day job, I'm an IT security analyst, a lot of background in help desk, but I've always kind of had an interest in the InfoSec side of things. This talk has no slides. It's 100% demo. So it's going to be short, and it might be a spectacular failure. But we'll find out. So I am mildly obsessed with 2FA, and specifically YubiKey or other. YubiKey is the most common one, but there are other brands of FIDO2 or FIDO or U2F or WebAuthn or whatever you want to call them, little doohickeys that effectively cryptographically sign things, and it's burned into the ROM of them. So it's not really forgeable. They do make software versions of those, but that, in my book, kind of defeats the purpose of it. But it's a lot stronger than TOTP. It's way stronger than SMS. And I've been wanting a way to do that with SSH. And the closest I'd had up until that point was using an open PGP key as an SSH key, or using a bunch of PAM modules that kind of halfway worked. As of OpenSSH 8.2, it's native, and I love it. So let's expand this a little bit. Can you all see that all right in the back? Okay, no complaints. So here is what I've run so far. So this is a live Ubuntu. I just booted from flash drive and ran these commands. So I've installed SSH, which is a meta package that installs the server and the client and a couple other utilities. I've done an upgrade and whatnot, and cleared the terminal. Typical, you'd SSH. Sorry, I get one input, one output, so I can't talk while I'm typing, so you'll get awkward pauses. It's going to be fun. So normally, you'd type in the password, which I don't know on the default install. I think it's Ubuntu, and you'd log in like that and whatnot. But that's not as secure because it's a password. We don't like those. So we're going to look at the man page for SSHD config. If I remember how to do this right. So you have this pub key accepted key types, which is a great thing. And what it does is you can actually specify what types of public key you want to accept. So you've got all your sort of standard ones, but then you've got these ones that have SK in front of them. That SK stands for security key. So all of these are going to require some sort of a security key in order to use those. The ED25519, as best as I can tell, is only supported by Yubico brand products that support FIDO2. So their second gen security key, the little blue thing, or any of their Series 5 YubiKeys. This ECDSA, as best as I can tell, is supported by anything that supports any version of FIDO. I've used it with Fiation, I've used it with HyperFIDO, I've used it with YubiKeys. So that's kind of what I'm gonna go for tonight. I haven't delved into a lot of the differences between the NIST version versus the CERT and all that, but we'll just pull some security key ones out. So we will. I reference my paper notes here because I'm weird like that. We will go. You can also SSHQ. I believe you can get a list that way. So if you want a real easy way to pipe this into a config, then if you escalate to root and do it again. There you go. There's your list. Pipe that to TR. Take out the new lines and turn them into commas. And then we've almost got the file we want. So we will take this and we will dump it to HD if I can remember what it is. Tab completion is helpful when you know how to use it. Okay, so we'll dump that there for now. I believe that our stock SSH config gives us a .conf include. There it is. So it will include anything ending in .conf in the sshd config.d directory. So that's why I dumped that there. So now we'll edit it a bit. And we need to add that in front of it. It's just a comma separated list, and then we'll need to take out everything that's not security key because we don't want anything that's not SK. And if I would have been smart, in fact, I'm going to go back. This is what I meant to do. I meant to add in here a grep SK and then dump that to the config. And this is what I get for doing a live demo. So we have all of the SK versions in here and none of the other keys. And we'll take off that trailing comma because I don't know, that'll probably make it mad. And we'll add a couple other things here like and we'll hope that I don't have any syntax errors. Let's go. So now that we've got that config there, I should be able to systemctl stop SSH, check the status, make sure it's actually stopped. I hate systemd, not because it's systemd, but only because I don't remember the commands. It's running. Okay, great. So now if we try and SSH into our box, we should get straight up denied because we don't have a public key. So normally what you'd do is you'd SSH keygen and, you know, whatever. I'm using all defaults here. I'm just tapping enter because I don't really care. This is a live install. It's getting blown away. And then you'd take your public key file. For those of you that know SSH, a lot of this is review. For those of you that don't, you can pause it and go back to it on the live stream. We will dump this into our SSH authorized keys. Make sure that we have the right permissions. 600, I believe, is what it takes. And then normally, that would be all it takes, and you'd be able to log in with that. But since we have told it to only accept security keys, it's denying that outright. And I believe that if we look at the verbose output, you can see that, yeah, it tells you in the output that it's only accepting the SK versions. So we need to generate an SK version. So we will SSH keygen type, and I'm going to use the ECDSA. I've got a YubiKey 3 Nano, I believe it is, plugged in. So it won't do the newer ED25519, but it'll do the ECDSA version. And you'll see you may need to touch it. It's actually blinking at me. You can't see that from where you're at, but it does blink at you just like if you were to sign into a website with it when it blinks at you to register. So now, if I attempt to SSH in, it will see that, oh, nope, I need to add the private and I need to add the public key, don't I? Should probably do that first. And you see that the ECDSA has the SK at the end. Again, that's default. It tells you it's a security key variant. We'll append this to our authorized keys. And then you notice it just kind of stalls. That's because it's blinking. It's blinking to tell you to tap it, and then you're in. So If your systems support this, if you can use OpenSSH 8.2, I haven't found a good way to get it to work on Windows yet, but if you're somewhat of a Linux native environment with new enough stuff that you've got 8.2, I would recommend this. I have most of my stuff locked down like that because I've always got at least one security key on me. And I'm paranoid that if I have a laptop stolen, even if it's encrypted and it's got a key on there, well, now what's stopping them? But even if you have the key, you still need, if you have the digital key, you still need the physical key in order to authenticate with that, hence security key authentication. So I think that's pretty good. Demo worked. Any questions? No questions. All right, that's easy. I'm gonna call it good. Next one up.